In this video, I'll be sharing a 6-part ad framework from legendary marketer Robert Collier that you can use to create your YouTube ads. My name is Kyle Sulerud. I'm the founder of AdLeg, a marketing company that specializes in YouTube ads. And in this video, I'm going to take you all the way back to a book that was published in 1931. And I'm sharing an ad framework from that book because, well, it has stood the test of time. It's still relevant today. In fact, much of what you have ever learned about marketing is likely in some way a derivative of this book. The book is called the Robert Collier Letter Book. And in the book, Robert shares what he calls the 6 essentials of every good sales letter. Yeah, in case you're not aware, they didn't have YouTube in 1931. They didn't have the internet. They didn't have video ads. Yeah, things were sold with the good old-fashioned written word. But as I said, this framework is still relevant today, and it applies very nicely to scripting good YouTube ads. The first component is the opening, which gets the reader's attention by fitting in with his train of thought and establishes a point of contact with his interests, thus exciting his curiosity and prompting him to read further. You may have heard this quote from Robert Collier: "Always enter the conversation taking place in the customer's mind." I can't actually find proof that Robert ever said this. It's not in the letter book, at least not in the version that I have. I'm not saying he didn't say it, but it might just be one of those internet quotes. If you can supply proof that Robert Collier actually said or wrote this, then please leave a comment below. I'd be really interested to see that. Either way, it is a good quote, and it's at least in the spirit of what Robert wrote, because he did write this when talking about approaching someone who's in a conversation. If he were talking to someone, you'd listen for a while, wouldn't you? And get the trend of the conversation. Then, when you chimed in, it would be with a remark on some related subject. And from that, you would bring the talk around logically to the point you wanted to discuss. What he's saying here is start with a hook that speaks to your target customer. If your prospects are in pain, speak to their pain. If your prospects have desires, speak to those desires. Don't start by saying, "I have this great thing for you." Start by saying, "You care about this. So let's start by talking about this." Start with where your prospects are at, and then bring them around to where you want them to be. Robert's second component is the description or explanation, which pictures your proposition to the reader by first outlining its important features, then filling in the necessary details. With this step, you are presenting your offer. What are you selling? Or what is the next step that you want the viewer to take? Like Robert says in his book, these steps don't need to be in order. So you could present your offer right after the hook, but you don't need to. If you think it would work better to warm the viewer up a little bit before presenting your offer, then you could wait until the middle or the end of your ad to present the offer. Robert's third component is the motive or reason why, which creates a longing in the reader's mind for what you are selling or impels him to do as you want him to do by describing not your proposition, but what it will do for him, the comfort, the pleasure, the profit he will derive from it. So now we're getting into the meat of the ad. Yeah. Look at that meat. Why would someone click on your ad to take the next step? What are the benefits? This is where you would explain the benefits, demonstrate the benefits. Maybe you only hint at the benefits, but the viewer needs to know how your thing will help them gain pleasure or avoid pain. You can then use the fourth component to back up your claims. The fourth component is The proof or guarantee, which offers to the reader proof of the truth of your statements, or establishes confidence by a money-back if not satisfied guarantee. Now you can provide testimonials or examples of how your thing has helped other people. If it's relevant, you can offer a money-back guarantee or some other type of guarantee. The goal here is to get prospects to trust you. If they want the results that you are offering and they're hesitant to take the next step, then either they don't trust you or they don't trust themselves. Think about it. If I said, give me $1,000 and I'll show you something you can do that will take you 10 minutes of work and you'll get back $10,000 immediately. If you have complete trust in me and you have trust in yourself to follow through on the 10 minutes of work, then you would absolutely give me the $1,000. I really like what Robert says about this in the letter book. And it's probably more true today than it was 90 years ago when he wrote it. We are a credulous people, but we have become so accustomed to hearing everyone claim that his product is the best in the world or the cheapest that we take all such statements with a grain of salt. Let some third person make the statement, however, apparently from excess of enthusiasm over the wonderful value or service he has received, and we prick up our ears. Now, of course, not every successful YouTube ad uses testimonials. This is just one component of one framework that you can follow when creating your ads. But if you've never tested testimonials in your ads, then I encourage you to try. To quote Robert again, there will never be a time when a testimonial, which has the ring of truth about it, will not be a potent factor in dispelling doubt in the mind of a hesitant customer. Well said, Mr. Collier. Well said. Let's move on to the fifth component of this framework, the snapper or penalty, which gets immediate action by holding over your reader's head the loss in money or prestige or opportunity that will be his if he does not act at once. Urgency, scarcity. You've heard this many times before, and these things obviously work to get people to take action. If your offer is expiring soon or has limited availability, then you should make this clear in your ads. One cool thing about YouTube ads is there is a built-in penalty for inaction. The ad goes away. It's something the viewer might never see again, like a new tweet from Donald Trump or a coherent statement from Joe Biden. You could even tell people this in your ad. You might never see this ad again, so if you don't take action right now, then you could miss out on these benefits forever. And that brings us to the final component of Robert Collier's framework, the close, which tells the reader just what to do and how to do it and makes it easy for him to act at once. You know what this is, the call to action. Every ad needs one. If you want a more in-depth explanation of how to use calls to action in your YouTube ads, including a bunch of examples, then go check out my call to action video. I'll put a link to that in the description below. To summarize Robert Collier's 6 essentials: the opening, the description or explanation, the motive or reason why, the proof or guarantee, the snapper or penalty, and the close. And because I think he says this stuff much better than I ever could, here's one more quote from Robert. Rules are merely the start. They are the mechanics of a letter. Real letter writing only starts there. It is getting the feel of your message that counts. What I think is most important about this quote isn't that he says it is getting the feel of your message that counts. What's most important is that rules are the start. If you want to transcend the rules, you can't start by ignoring them. Learning and practicing the rules is what gives you the experience and the permission to break them. I'll end with one final quote from jazz saxophonist and one of the greatest musicians who ever lived, Charlie Parker. And this is one of my favorite quotes ever. First, you learn the instrument, then you learn the music, then you forget all that and just play. You want to get to the point where you can just play? Then start by learning the rules. And I have something special for you today. How would you like a breakdown of the ad frameworks developed and used by some of the most legendary marketers ever? I've put together a guide of winning frameworks that you can use for your YouTube ads. It includes templates from people like Victor Schwab, Russell Brunson, Dan Kennedy, Frank Kern, Gary Halbert, Robert Collier, all in one extremely valuable guide. And it's free. Find the link in the description of this video to go check it out now. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Some people say that the thumbs up don't actually help YouTube's algorithm. I don't know, but they do help tell me what kind of content you want to see more of. And they also help other people see whether a video is well rated and worth watching. So if you think this video is worth watching, hit the like button. And thanks for watching this video. Again, my name is Kyle Sulerud, and I'll see you in the next video.